Today, when you hear the name Ginger Rogers, your first thought is probably that of the celebrated partner of Fred Astaire. Certainly, her enormous gifts as a dancer played a vital part in the success of their partnership. As Katharine Hepburn said, he gave her class, she gave him sex. But there was much more to this vivacious and talented performer than just being Fred's most famous partner. Much, much more. After paying her dues on the Broadway stage, she headed to Hollywood, where her comedy talents shone in 42nd Street.
I really had a charming summer in Deauville, dear.
Get a load of Minnie the Mountaineer.
Must have been tough on your mother not having any children.
In Gold Diggers of 1933, she introduced the song, "We're in the Money," rather ironically, to a depression-weary audience.
We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along.
So Ginger Rogers was a seasoned Hollywood veteran long before Fred joined her to dance the karaoke in their first film together, Flying Down to Rio. Although she and Fred weren't the main stars of that film, the magic they projected was immediately evident to the studio bosses. It was never planned that they remain as a team, but the audience response to their on-screen chemistry prompted their studio, RKO, to launch a lavish series of spectacular musicals produced under the supervision of Pandro S. Berman. Beginning with Astaire and Rogers' first starring vehicle, The Gay Divorcee, you can see how their dancing was actually part of their on-screen courtship. Ginger usually started out resisting Fred's advances, but once he took her in his arms and they began to dance, you can actually see her falling in love with him. In the quintessential musical Top Hat, Fred and Ginger created possibly the most memorable routine of them all, Irving Berlin's Cheek to Cheek. With Ginger wearing that incredible feather dress she designed herself. She had a knack of making it look as though Fred was teaching her the routine at that very moment in time. His manipulative movements with those enormous hands of his would appear to hypnotize her, sway her, and turn her at his whim. In truth, there were weeks of rehearsals and numerous takes. The roller skate routine in Shall We Dance required 150 takes to complete. Fred always said that Ginger was his hardest working partner, and there were times during rehearsals that her feet bled through her shoes. On screen, however, she made it look so easy. That's the kind of actress she was. That was her art. But that's what made Ginger Rogers the most popular partner Astaire ever had, and inspired the phrase, "She did everything he did, only backwards and on heels." But Ginger's talents didn't stop here, far from it. Although she enjoyed the movies she and Astaire made together, she longed to prove herself as a solo performer and a serious actress, and she began to resent the Svengali label attached to her and Fred's professional relationship.
It took a lot of patience to put you where you are. I worked. I pulled things out of you. I molded you like, like Svengali did Trilby.
Svengali?
Yeah, the guy with the beard. That's me.
Probably no other actress in Hollywood worked so hard as Ginger. Besides the 1 or 2 musicals per year with Astaire she made during the 1930s, she also starred in as many as 4 other films in the same year. One of which was a wonderful comedic performance in Stage Door, where she matches wits with none other than Katharine Hepburn.
When does your baggage get here? I'm expecting the bulk of it in the morning. We could leave the trunks here and sleep in the hall. There's no use crowding the trunks.
After her final RKO film with Fred Astaire, The Story of Vernon and Irene Castle, Ginger stretched her acting muscles like never before and impressed both audiences and critics with her endeavors. In 1940, she undertook the then daring role of a girl from the wrong side of the tracks who weds, becomes pregnant by, and loses a young man from high society. The film was Kitty Foyle.
What are you going to do? I'm going to have this baby. Oh, but my dear.
And for her performance, Ginger won the Academy Award as Best Actress. No longer would she be known simply as Fred's partner. Other successes followed. Ginger had an uncanny gift to pick the proper balance between comedy and drama, from the downbeat dramatics of Primrose Path to the light-hearted antics of Tom, Dick and Harry, and the romantic lavishness of Weekend at the Waldorf. Ginger ran the emotional gamuts from A to Z. In 1949, Ginger rejoined Fred for their final movie together, and the only one shot in color, The Barclays of Broadway. When the studio era came to an end and roles for older actresses were increasingly hard to find, Ginger returned to her stage roots, winning over a whole new generation of fans like myself who saw her playing Mame on the West End stage back in 1969. Today, Ginger Rogers is still best known for the 10 films she and Fred Astaire made together. And for most actresses, that would be enough. But Ginger Rogers isn't most actresses. She was a fine dancer, singer, comedian, and dramatic performer. A real showbiz quadruple threat. And someone who not only inspires me, but brings a smile to my face every time I see her on the screen. In recalling her relationship with Fred, she once said, "He was not my Svengali. I was my own woman." Well, she certainly was. For Turner Classic Movies, I'm Nigel Lythgoe.